On this edition of Lakeville City Limits, we head over to the Heritage Center, where Linda Walter talks with some members of the Motorcycle Club. Then I will talk to Alina Operations Manager Curt Widener about our ambulance service and what Alina is doing to be a leader in the industry. And finally, we get some summer pet tips from our Animal Control Officer, Barb Maxwell. Hello, I'm City Administrator Steve Melke. Welcome to City Limits, Lakeville's public information program. Up first on today's show, we head over to the Heritage Center.
Hi, I'm Linda Walter, the Senior Coordinator here at the Lakeville Heritage Center. With me today I have two members of our biking group, and that's motorcycle biking. I have Bill Peterson and Pat Gruenhagen. So, how are you guys today?
Good.
Good.
And looks like you're going to be taking a ride.
Yep.
And where are you going to go?
We're
going to the Minnesota
Mill.
Museum.
Oh, okay. And so how long of a ride is that?
It's about 20 miles, 27 miles, I think.
About an hour.
Okay. You're going to go for lunch afterwards?
Yep.
Probably
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay. So how long have you been in the motorcycle group?
Since 2004.
And that's
when I started it.
That's when it originated, huh?
Yep.
Okay. And so at that time, how many people were in the group?
We had probably about 12.
And so do you have a bunch of rides planned for this year?
Yes, we got quite a few rides.
Okay. And I understand now this year you got an overnighter.
Yeah, we're going to Anamosa, Iowa, to the Motorcycle Museum and to the Prison Museum.
Okay, that'll be a lot of fun. So do you have room for more to join?
Yep.
Okay, and
Anybody that wants to join, it's 50 and over.
Okay. Age 50 and over?
Yep.
And then how can they become a member of the motorcycle group?
They have to join the senior center.
Yep. And then a $5 registration fee, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And so are you enjoying it? Have you met new friends by belonging to the motorcycle club?
Oh yeah, a lot of friends.
And is that why you joined to begin with?
No, I like riding.
Oh, okay. And you wanted someone to ride with, right?
Yes.
Well, and then, we originated this club because I had so many people thinking, when I said we had a biking club, they were thinking bicycle. No, I was thinking bicycle. And they said, oh, you got a motorcycle club? And so that's why we started a motorcycle club. I didn't realize we had so many people who liked to ride motorcycles. So,
And it's not
fun.
just motorcycles, it's scooters too. If they're, the scooters want to ride with us, we're more than welcome.
Okay, so do they have to be able to drive a maximum speed limit?
Yes, they got to keep
or a minimum
the
limit?
speed limit.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, as the gang gets ready to go, let's cover some other activities that we're having at the Heritage Center. July is such a busy month. It starts off with the Panaprog Baby Crawl on July 9th. Registration is at 9:30 and the crawl begins at 10 o'clock. This is such a fun event that you won't want to miss it. Invite your family members who have crawlers to enter the race. Trophies and ribbons are awarded. On July 12th and 13th, we'll hold our annual Bazaar and Bake Sale. New this year is a flower show. Our famous caramel rolls and sloppy joes are on the menu again this year for a nominal price. If you enjoy writing stories, we have just started a program titled Writers Support Group. This class is for serious writers who want their stories critiqued or need encouragement to finish a story. And it's held every other Tuesday from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Our pickleball group has started their season. They play every Friday morning at Dodd Trail Park. If you're interested in joining them, you just need to be a member of the Senior Center and pay a $5 registration fee. We have a very active biking club that rides approximately 33 miles every Wednesday on a variety of bike trails. They're very active people, they have fun, and they always stop for lunch. So if you would like to ride with them, all you need to do is, again, be a member of the Senior Center and pay a $5 registration fee. Exercise classes are popular at the Heritage Center. We offer low-impact aerobic classes, Zumba, and yoga, besides having free access to our fitness room. And not only do we have the exercise classes, but tap dance and line dance, those are all really good. We have so many things to offer here at the center. We would love to have you stop by and check out our new building and grab one of our newsletters. Our address is 20110 Holyoke Avenue, And we're at the old police station, and it's now called the Heritage Center. So looking forward to meeting you. Bye, guys. Well, if you have any questions, be sure to check us on our website at www.lakevillemn.gov or stop by and see us at the Heritage Center. And have a great day.
Hey, I'm a dog singing the doggy-doo blues. Dogs must be leashed when out of their own yards. If you're walking a dog, clean up if it leaves a gift. Take the poo and put it in a bag. Throw it out, dispose of the stuff in a sanitary way. Throw it out. If you do this, you'll keep our parks and nature clean. Be a responsible pet owner and clean up after your dog. I know I would.
Joining me today is Curt Widener, Alina Operations Manager. Curt, thanks for joining me on City Limits.
Thank you for having me.
Curt, you're one of our leaders at Alina Medical Services. Talk a little bit about your company.
Alina Health EMS is it's a portion of Alina Health EMS, or a portion of Alina Health in general. The overall company is about 23,000 employees strong, and we're a small part of that. We have about 400 employees. We cover several cities throughout the state of Minnesota and have some major areas that we cover along the 694 corridor and 494 corridor. Bloomington, cover the Mall of America, the airport. We service about 1 million people in Minnesota.
And currently you're also servicing the ALF, or the Apple Valley, Lakeville, and Farmington EMS territory.
That's correct.
Talk about that relationship between ALF and Alina.
Well, ALF was, the Joint Powers Board was made up many, many years ago, I believe back in around 89 maybe, 86, can't remember exactly where in there. But they ran for several years, being operated by the three cities, and then in February 2009 is when Alina came in and took over operations. And right now the relationship is we provide the ambulance service, and all the employees are Alina employees. But the Joint Powers Board of the three cities still retains the license of the area.
And with Alina providing that service, I guess it provides a broader network of options should there be issues or a lot of need for ambulance services.
Yes, we have, if we run out of ambulances in our area, we have our South Metro Division that can bring trucks down into our area to help cover. We also rely on mutual aid agreements as well from our neighboring cities of Burnsville. Rosemont and Eagan are covered by Health East and Northfield Ambulance.
How much coverage of ambulances are there for the three cities?
We have two 24-hour ambulances on per day, and a 16-hour ambulance, which is from 8 a.m. to midnight every day. And
those three then provide coverage for the full three cities?
They do. We have three posting locations, three bases that we sit at when we're not on calls. Our main base is the Apple Valley Fire Station number 1 at County Road 42 and Hayes Road. And that's where all of our employees come in, report to work, get their ambulance, get their equipment, and then they move out from there. We also house out of the Lakeville Police Department at 183rd and Dodd Boulevard next to Lifetime Fitness. And then our last location in Farmington is at the Farmington Fire Station number 2 at the intersection of 197th and Pilot Knob Road.
So Curt, when people call an ambulance, it's usually under stressful conditions. It always seems like it takes forever for an ambulance to show up. But that's, I think, because of the stress. Can you talk a little bit about response times?
We measure our response times from when we pick up the phone and dispatch to the time our ambulance arrives on scene. So there's taking the information in dispatch, putting the call out to the crew getting in their truck and going, And we actually, our benchmark for our agreement with the 3 cities is 8 minutes. And we, in this last quarter, hit that. We were at 6 minutes and 55 seconds on an average response time to our area, which is pretty good. Most communities or other services measure their response time from the time that their crews leave the garage to the time they arrive on scene. So putting all that into, we have some pretty good response times in this area.
So then when you have an emergency response, do you get backup from police and fire, and what are the causes for that kind of additional resource?
We do. Most of our calls, we do get police response. There are some when we go to clinics, things like that, that we may not get a response from them. But most everything else we do. They're all first responder trained, carry oxygen, carry AEDs, the automatic external defibrillators. And then our fire departments respond on mainly car accidents, cardiac arrests, any major medical that we may need help on. And they'll come out if we need help moving a patient from their house to our ambulance, things like that. So we do get a lot of response from our police and fire, and we have a great working relationship with all the departments that we service in this area.
Curt, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you today was because Allina is a recognized leader across the nation in cardiac arrest survival. And it's one of the things that I think Allina needs to be proud of. But before we talk about why perhaps Allina is such a leader in that area, talk about the difference between a heart attack and cardiac arrest.
A heart attack is when you develop chest pain, you have a blocking of a vessel in your heart, and some of the heart muscle is dying, so that needs to be opened back up to relieve the chest pain, to get blood flowing back to the heart muscle so that it doesn't die. Whereas with a heart attack or a cardiac arrest, the heart stops beating. The heart's not beating, they're not breathing, and there needs to be major intervention with that. Sometimes that's caused by a heart attack. It can be lingering for a while, and sometimes it can be sudden, the cardiac arrest. So the main intervention both need is a cath lab, which they go in and they open the vessel up and get blood flowing again.
So heart attacks probably have a much higher survival rate, but talk about the survival rates of cardiac arrest.
In the ALF area, actually, our survival rate is 27%, compared to nationally at 5%, and that's walking out of the hospital neurologically intact after a pre-hospital out, so could be here at City Hall, not in a hospital cardiac arrest, things that we deal with. So our average is quite a bit higher than that national average.
And what is the reason that you're doing so well?
One of the things is our community. We've trained around 9,000 people in the Lakeville community alone in hands-on CPR with our Heart Restart program. And that's part of it, training the working relationship we have with our police officers and firefighters. They carry AEDs in the police squads as well as the fire units, and our quick response times. Plus the equipment we carry Lucas devices, which is a CPR machine that does perfect chest compressions when it's applied correctly and helps the heart completely pump and refill. Some of our protocols on how we do cardiac arrests, how we look at how we do our cardiac arrests, trying to make things better with that. Those have all been contributing factors as to why our success has been so high.
So that technology, the AEDs and the Lucas device, are relatively new and aren't as common in the other parts of the United States?
Correct. Allina Transportation, when we put this all in, the Lucas devices in, was the largest, and I believe still is the largest organization in the upper Midwest for the number of Lucas devices during a working day. When ALF came on board with Allina, that was one of the first major purchases that we received that was different from what we had done back at ALF. And when we were ALF, it was just hands-on CPR, and when we started with Allina, that was one of the first things that we got was this Lucas device, and it's a great device for doing CPR.
So Curt, if people have an interest in learning more about CPR and the Heart Restart program, how might they become connected to that?
In the city of Lakeville, they can go to the city's webpage and look for the Lakeville Heart Restart icon and click on that, and they can sign up to take a free class. We can either come out to you and put the class on, or you can come to one of our classes and learn how to do hands-on, hands-only CPR.
CPR used to be the breaths and the compressions, and you know, a lot of people I think were always afraid of doing CPR. The new techniques I think are a little less onerous, aren't they?
They are. You know, one of the things that I've noticed over the years, and I believe why American Heart has gone to this, is there's been a lot of people who been trained in CPR, but their hesitation is giving the mouth-to-mouth, especially to somebody they don't know, so they end up not doing anything. And that's where the hands-only CPR, and it's okay just to do hands-only CPR, and more people are willing to get involved doing that.
And AEDs, the growth of those as well. I know we have them in almost all of our facilities now, and just finding them in more businesses. If people are interested in obtaining an AED for their place of business, is there a resource for that?
They again could go to the city's webpage and click on the Heart Restart, and there's contact information through that.
All right. Well, Curt, thank you for joining me on City Limits and for sharing some information about cardiac arrest and the Heart Restart program.
Thank you very much.
Did you know that the annual water quality report is now available? The purpose of this report is to advance consumers' understanding of drinking water and heighten awareness of the need to protect precious water resources. The study shows that Lakeville water meets every quality standard. If you are interested in viewing the report, it can be found on the city's website at www.lakevillemn.gov.
If you don't use water wisely today, there may not be water to use tomorrow.
We remind residents that odd, even watering restrictions are in effect. In addition to the odd, even watering schedule, watering is not allowed between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. on any day. Fines will be imposed for non-compliance with the watering restrictions.
And now it's time for Pet Tips with Animal Control Officer Barb Maxwell.
Hi, I'm Animal Control Officer Barb Maxwell, and I'm here today on one of our nice summer days here in Minnesota to kind of talk to you a little bit about leaving your dog unattended in a vehicle. Hot days, a vehicle can get up to well over 100, 110, 120 degrees in just a short period of time. Even if the windows are cracked a little bit, and I'm going to show you an example a little bit later. First of all, I just want to talk about, it's a state law. You cannot leave a dog unattended in a vehicle when it's going to cause them harm. Quick trip to the store, don't bring your dog with. You know, we got a lot of parking lots here in the city. Your car sits on tar. It just, sun beats through the window, and your dog gets very hot inside that vehicle in a short period of time, like I mentioned. It's very dangerous for your dog to be inside of a vehicle without circulation. So what happens is the temperature rises inside the car, and the dogs can't sweat, so they have to pant to cool their bodies down. And when a vehicle is so hot, they can't find cool air, so they just keep breathing in the hot air, and it gets hotter and hotter, and pretty soon body parts in a dog start shutting down. Their kidneys will start shutting down, liver, and they go into a state where if you can't cool them down fast enough, it is a fatal situation for a dog. So what I'd like to do is just kind of show you, I have a tool here, it's called a Raytech digital thermometer. A lot of companies use this, but it is an infrared beam that I can shoot through a window, a crack in a window, not through the glass, but through a crack in the window to kind of get the internal temperature where the dog is kind of sitting in the car at the time. So I'd like to show you an example of that and just kind of get you to understand the danger of leaving your dog inside of a car on a hot summer day. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to use my truck as an example here. I've got the windows open about inch and a half maybe, and my seat is partially in the sun, partially in the shade. And usually that's where a dog would sit, was in the seat that you have vacated. I just want to point out that I got here about 2 o'clock. It's now about 2:35, so 35 minutes in a store or somewhere. What I come and I do is I put in my gauge here through the window, and it's not illegal for this beam to go through your window. And I got 121 degrees just in the seat by my truck there. What I normally do is scan it around in a sunny area and a shady area and get an average temp. So in a shady area, on the driver's side I got 89. In the other area I got 122, but I've also seen it 136 as I'm flashing on here. It's just kind of hard to get it to stop at that particular moment in time. But it's still 122 degrees some spots in this vehicle. So, and usually the dog, like I said, sits in the sun. So after a half an hour, 35 minutes, it poses a danger for your dog to be inside of a vehicle. Now, this is a ticketable offense. And what I want to strongly do is encourage you, if you see a dog in a vehicle in one of our parking lots here in the city, please don't hesitate, call 911, and either myself or another officer will come out and investigate the situation, and hopefully at that time the dog will be okay. But it is a ticketable offense, and we will issue a citation for that. So if you have any questions concerning this segment, please give me a call. You can reach me at 952-985-2892. Thank you.
Now it's time for the answer to today's trivia question, which is, approximately how many people attend the Grand Day Parade during Panaprog? If you guessed D, 20,000 people, you would be correct. This year's parade is on Saturday, July 13th, starting at 5:30 p.m. The parade starts at the Arts Center and ends near City Hall. For more information on this year's Panaprog, visit www.panaprog.org. Here is a look at some of the road construction that is happening in the city. The intersection of Dodd Boulevard and Highview Avenue is closed for construction of a roundabout. In addition to the upgraded intersection, both Dodd and Highview will have improvements approaching the new intersection. Detour routes are posted, and this project is expected to be completed sometime in late September. Many of the streets in the Valley Park and Clay's Acres neighborhoods are undergoing reconstruction. Drive safely in work areas. Along with the new streets, there are stormwater and utility improvements taking place. Expect these projects to be completed sometime in the fall. Here is a look at some of the upcoming public meetings that you can attend at City Hall. The City Council meets on Monday, July 1st at 7 p.m. The Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Committee meets on Wednesday, July 3rd at 6 p.m. The Arts Board, which meets at the Arts Center, will be meeting on Thursday, July 11th at 3:30 p.m. And the Finance Committee, which meets at the Water Treatment Facility, will be meeting on Thursday, July 11th at 7 p.m. For more information on government meetings and the role of our boards and commissions, visit the city website at www.lakevillemn.gov. That's it for this edition of Lakeville City Limits. Thanks for watching. If you experience a problem with your cable TV service here in Lakeville, you should first contact Charter Communications at 1-800-581-0081. If you do not receive a satisfactory response, you can call the city at 985-4407 and we will assist you in resolving your problem. And just a reminder, you can see all of our programming online on the city website at www.lakevillemn.gov. Thanks again for watching this program and all of the programming here on LG TV.